Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, and hopefully, you can hear me. I'm still getting my setup done, but I'm excited because we are about to do office hours here for I Find You Close, and it's pretty low key. I'm just going to answer any questions that you have. We do have a topic that I'm going to get into, and I'm checking my sound right now, so everything seems to be good. But we do have a topic. Just to get into it. It's called What is a Standout Topic? And as you can see, I already have messed up on my graphics. So let me go ahead and just fix that. That's the beautiful thing about doing things live. You could just fix it as you go. But for those of you who are tuning in, thank you so very much. We're doing a special office hours for the members of I Find You Close, wanting to be able to answer any questions you have about navigating I Find You Close, any questions that keep popping up. I actually have a list of questions people have sent me over the last year, and I want to try to answer them throughout doing these office hour sessions. And just kind of get more connected with you so that you can go out and get more speaking engagements. So there's a lot going on. I got people texting me and all kinds of things, but we're just going to go ahead and get started. For those of you, if you have no idea who I am Felicia Jones. I am actually the lead researcher and the founder of I Find You Close. If you have been a member, I know we've been a little quiet, but we've been trying to figure out how to deliver to you and how to keep you engaged and how to make sure that you're getting exactly what it is that you need. So here's how office hours are going to work. If you have any questions, you're going to put them in a comment box. For those of you who are tuning in, we are using YouTube to do this. So you will have to log in with your YouTube account or your Google account so that you can add comments in. Otherwise, add some comments. Otherwise, add some comments. I will see them as they pop up and I will answer them as we go. And I think I'm going to actually check my sound one last time. I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to this sound thing. I've been doing so many lives and it gets a little weird after a while. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this topic of what is a standout topic. So I'm actually going to go ahead and switch over to I'm actually going to go ahead and switch over so you can see this is what I Find You Close looks like when you go in. And of course, I got to tell you, of course, if you go to live events and workshops, you will see that we have upcoming office hours and with topics. So please be sure you go and check those out. I know my face is over them, but it's right above my head. You can check out all the resources over here on the left side when it comes to I Find You Close in office hours. Now, what I want to get down to is, when we get into these speaking opportunities and, every week, every Monday, we post up new opportunities. And when we're looking at all of these different little items, actually going to go ahead and go big over here. Okay, that didn't really help anything. um, Gosh, I have multiple screens going and one is touch screen, one isn't. So we're just gonna maneuver through this. All right, so we're gonna look at this particular event right here. This is the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, and this is one of the events that was posted a couple of months ago back in I Find You Close. And what we typically do, we just break down, the date, the location, the deadline, the industry, and the topics wanted. So this is something I want you to pay attention to. This is the topics wanted by a particular conference or an event. So what we'll do is we'll break down what they are looking for, or we'll go in and look at all of the past events and look at what was actually on their agenda in the past to kind of get an idea of what this event is looking for. So let's just say with the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, they're looking for entrepreneurship topics. They're looking for social media, branding, live streaming, crisis management. And when we say things like various, that means they have a really long list of topics that they're looking for. If you ever see where it says open, that means, give us your best shot. That's actually what they're asking for. But for this one, they're looking for various topics, but it's safe to say this is around marketing and entrepreneurship, live streaming video, and other topics that businesses have to worry about. Now, what we're going to get down to right now is this pitch strategy where it says complete an application with a standout topic, or sometimes it says with a relevant topic. Now, the reason why I broke out and just said use a standout topic is because it's a very generic term that means you need to bring your A game. You have to remember that you might be competing with 50, 100, 200 other people to get a spot to get a spot to speak at this event. It doesn't matter if you're a keynote speaker, a breakout session speaker, it still needs to be a standout topic. And that standout topic actually needs to relate back to the topics that they are looking for. Now, of course, inside of kind of going through the pitch process, we've done some of the initial steps for you with some of the initial research. The rest will be up to you to go to the website to really take a deep dive into what they're looking for, to understand their audience. And that's where we come out with this standout topic. Once you look at the audience and then you look at the topics that they've had and then you look at the speakers that they've had in the past, you can start to get an idea of how to formulate your topic around what they're looking for. So we know that they're looking for entrepreneurship, and you might want to pitch something that says how to start an entrepreneurship career, and that is, to be honest, that may not be standout enough. You have to remember that when you are filling in applications or sending in proposals, there are other people that are trying to get this event's attention as well. So that means your topic needs to stand out, meaning when you're sending out that application, we have to look at the title of what you're talking about. This has nothing to do with changing your topic, changing how you deliver, changing your talk. It is just having a title that fits within the context of what this event is about. Now, we know that this is a marketing conference, so we may have a standout topic of 303. I'm going to spit off the top of my head right now. 3 mistakes brand new marketing entrepreneurs make when starting a business. Now, sometimes it may not be that standout, and it might actually stand out, but it's a very clear topic of, all right, oh wow, here are the 3 mistakes marketing entrepreneurs make when they start a brand new career versus how to start a new career. How to start a career in entrepreneurship 101. Now, of course, I can't tell you that these are not standout topics. They might be. We have to look at the context of what is going on with this particular conference. And so when I say standout, what I really mean is I want you to have a title that kind of catches attention. So when people are going through and reading these applications, you need to have a title that actually stands out the moment that they see it. Now, my experience with all of this, so you might be wondering, like, all right, Felicia, how is it that you know all of this? Now, I spent the last about it's going to be over 4.5 years working with 2 groups booking speakers. So I was actually on the other side of people pitching and sending topics. And some of the topics I have to admit were pretty boring or pretty vanilla. And we have some of the most vanilla topics. I mean, a lot of people have vanilla topics because we think it's a topic that's important to us, whereas it may not actually stand out to the people there, because you have to remember, somebody who's reading these applications, especially if they've been doing this for years, they have probably seen every version of the title that you think is standout. They've probably seen it. Trust me, how to live your best life, how to live your best life with a smile, how to live your best life while standing up, how to live your best life while sitting down. They've seen every version of this, but they probably haven't seen how to manage your life, your career. I'm really making things up. How to manage your life and your career while being an entrepreneur in the marketing realm. They may not have seen that because it's a very specific topic. And I know it sounds a little weird of what I'm talking about, but I don't have any examples. I didn't write down anything. So I'm kind of like just using my brain here. But what I really want you to pay attention to is you have to put yourself on the other side of the person that is reading these applications. They have probably seen it before, and they really want something that will grab their attention, that will still speak to the audience that they're trying to bring speakers to, that will speak to the theme of the conference, but it might be a little exciting, or might be a little controversial, might be a little tingly. It might just stand out a little bit more than what people are ready for. So I'll give you one example. It was a topic that I actually did for a TEDx talk, and And you can go in through any topic. And I talked about math and women in technology and women in STEM. So I could go in with a topic that says the power of women in STEM. Now, it's not a bad topic. It's okay. But someone like me who sat there and read maybe 100 titles or topics just like this, or 100 applications, it might be, okay, that's kind of middle of the road. It's a little vanilla. The power of women in STEM. Yay. But when I submitted a topic that says tech needs a Kardashian, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, one, you're talking about the Kardashians. What do they have to do with women in technology? What do they have to do with tech? So sometimes when we say these standout topics, is that it needs to be something that is eye catching. It needs to grab attention. It is no different than copywriting. You know, when you see these things called clickbait, we don't like clickbait, but it always gets us. It always gets us because it's like, like I hate the clickbait. But clickbait, the thing with clickbait is that it actually works. I mean, I hate that it works, but it actually works. So you might want to get into kind of the mindset. You don't want to have salacious, offensive topics, but you might want to use some of the key elements that people who write copy, who write blog posts, who actually do those clickbaity articles that we'd hate. But the thing is, it actually works. It actually works. And when you are submitting an application to to an event and maybe 100 other people, and now you have this one person that has to read through 100 applications, we want to use clickbait to make sure that they open up the application, read more, to get a little interested in what our topic is going to be in our description, and for them to say, you know what, I actually kind of like this. Your goal is to get them to click on your website, to go check you out, or to send back an email, say, hey, this is interesting. Can you give me more details? Or like, heck yes, we're going to book you. So you might want to use some of those tactics that people who use clickbait use. Now, of course, we don't like it when it is being sold to us, but remember, you have to put yourself on the other side. And your goal is to make sure that somebody opens up your application to read more. The goal is, when you're sending out a proposal, is to get them to open up the email and read more. That is your goal as a speaker. You need them to read more to get interested in you and what you are talking about. So when you have this, when you're going through these applications and you're inside of iFind You Close and you see something that says standout topic, that means you really need to do a little bit more research on, all right, what's the topic, the topics that they're looking for, and then what I actually talk about. And you need to make them marry each other so that one, it stands out. One, it makes people pay attention. And the other thing that I want to let you know with the standout topic is, let's just say you submitted an application, you submitted a proposal, and they said yes. Now, the other side of this is that when you go to a conference or an event and you are one of 20 speakers, one of 100 speakers, remember, your goal is to get people into the room. So it's not so much just that you're pitching. Whatever you have pitched, this is typically the topic or the title that will be in the conference brochure, that will be in the conference schedule, and you want people to come to your session. That's it. You want people to come to your session, so you still need to have a standout topic. You need to have something that'll make people come to your room. Now, I have a good friend. Her name is Michelle Jackson, and she's actually really good at this when it comes to putting together titles for conferences. So I think her last conference, she put together, I think it was a panel, but the title of the panel was What Jay-Z and Beyonce Know About Marketing and What You Are Missing Out On. Now, of course, it's kind of interesting. It's like, okay, what do Jay-Z and Beyonce know that I'm missing out on? And what happened is that every time she pitched that, she got booked to come speak at the conference. And of course, she had people in the room because, one, I mean, she did name drop. Let's just be honest. She used some clickbait material there. She dropped Jay-Z and Beyonce. And of course, we know who Jay-Z and Beyonce are, and we know that they are marketing gods. So, of course, we want to know exactly what Jay-Z and Beyonce are doing when it comes to what they're doing when it comes to marketing that I can use for my blog or for my podcast. And she uses those types of titles when she goes to conferences because she knows, one, your first round is to submit the application or the proposal, and you got to get somebody to say yes. And then two, it's just a fun topic. I mean, it's a fun title. It's a fun title. And of course, I'm sure she broke it down, and it was talking about the basics of marketing. And I think this was for a podcasting conference. And so she talked about the different things that you could do to leverage your podcast to get more marketing, and by studying what Jay-Z and Beyonce are doing. So one, she kind of used a case study, a pseudo case study, meaning we're going to look at what they were doing and what worked and what we can take from them and apply it to us. So that's where we get into the standout topics, because she could have just had a panel of how to market your blog and podcast. Okay. All right. We've probably seen that before. We can probably Google that. And we may not get people to come to our session, and we may not even get selected to speak. So she did a really cool thing by putting it all together. So that's what I mean with a standout topic. So when we're looking at standout topics, when you're going through iFind You Close, and for those of you, if you're watching this and you're very new to iFind You Close, so one of the things that we put inside of iFind You Close, I'm actually going to go back to what it looks like. We deliver every week. We deliver a list of five or more, sometimes more, speaking opportunities, and we break down everything. But we break down the topics that they're wanting, and we're looking at this one right now. And then here's the strategy: we want to submit with complete the application with a standout topic, and the goal is to marry these two things, what you're talking about with what they're looking for, all with the audience in mind, and the theme in mind. So we want to make sure that people know exactly what we're talking about. This comes down to our title. We want to make sure we have an amazing title, and then we want to make sure our description is very spot on. And that's the other thing when you're looking at these applications, is that you got to have a description that is very spot on. So we want to look at our title. And then the next thing a speaker coordinator is going to look at, or somebody who's booking the speakers, is the description. It needs to be very clear of what you're talking about, who's talking about it, and then what the audience is going to learn. So those are some of the basics when it comes down to the standout topic. One, the title in relation to whatever it is the event is looking for, and then the description, being very, very clear of what you're going to talk about and what someone is actually going to learn from listening to you. Now, of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box. We're going to be doing these every week, and this was a question that popped up from someone else that said, hey, what is a standout topic? And I might actually address this again a little bit later, but I kind of wanted to get a flow for our very first office hours and to kind of go over what this standout topic means. So like I said, the standout topic doesn't mean you need to change your talk. It doesn't mean you need to change anything about how you deliver. We just need to make sure that the topic and the description match what it is that the event is looking for. And if you can use a really cool title to kind of clickbaity to get people to look at what you're doing, do it. I'll give one last example. So one of the events I spoke for is a couple of years ago, and I actually love doing this when I can marry what I talk about with what the event theme is versus the topics that they're looking for. So in my day-to-day life, when I am out there speaking, I do talk about money. And this particular conference was around entrepreneurs, and they needed somebody to come talk about finances. So you can go with a pitch like finance 101 or the basics of career, the basics of entrepreneur finances. That's okay. It's not bad. I mean, if you're the only person who's pitching something about money, you actually may get it. But let's just say 50 other people who talk about money are there. So now the game is raised. And here's the thing, you never know who's applying for these things. So now the game has been raised, because now it's like, all right, it's 50 other people. How do I stand out when 50 other people might be pitching the same kind of topic or the same subject So I went and looked at the website, and I noticed that on the website, every other word was badass. Badass entrepreneurs, badass women in business, all those different little keywords. And even the photos was kind of giving off of that little badass opportunity, badass vibe. So what I ended up pitching was a badass business owner's guide to managing money. Now, I know there's some alliteration there, but what I did was I took the theme, I took what they were looking for, I took the vibe, and I kind of used it against them to come up with the title that I was going to pitch, and to kind of weave all of that into the description. Because remember, at the end of the day, once I get the gig, I still need to get people to come and listen to me and hear what I have to say. So that's what I did. I actually just used their theme, used their vibe, and incorporated that into what I talk about. Now, I didn't change my talk at all. I didn't really change my talk. My presentation was exactly the same when I go to other conferences. I just changed up that description, and I changed up that topic. So hopefully, this was useful when it comes to understanding what is a standout topic. Now, of course, if you are getting a little stuck around, hey, what does this mean? What can I do? I actually think I have to let me figure this out, but I may put up a little button so that we can have a little one-on-one session. Of course, it won't be completely free, but I'm gonna put up something so that we can get on, we can talk through all of these things, so that you can have a better idea of what a standout topic, and we'll kind of pay attention to your industry that you're going for, what you talk about, and then how we can reframe it so that it'll work for an event. Because sometimes I know it's really hard to kind of get into a different mindset when you're trying to put together pitches, and that is exactly what we do when we work with people one-on-one. But right now, of course, you have iFind You Close, so all you have to do is just kind of have a little fun with it. Sometimes I think when we're sitting down here pitching, we get so serious, like, so serious. It's just lighten up, take a breath, and just kind of have fun with it. Let your personality show. And that's the biggest thing. I can tell the personality of people when I would read their applications or read their pitches. So let your personality show, have a little bit of fun, and just keep going, and don't talk yourself out of not pitching. The world is a little different right now, and I think we're going to have an office hour coming up in a couple of weeks of talking about why you need to say yes to everything. So I don't want you to talk yourself out of not pitching. Even if you don't really understand what a standout topic is, still pitch. Even if you think it is boring, I don't care. I want you to pitch. You never know who's reading, and you never know if that topic is exactly what they're looking for that day. So hopefully this was helpful. I don't see any comments coming in, and that is absolutely okay. We will still have comments later on, and I will see them. Later on. So of course, if you have anything, just make sure you put it down there so that I can come back and answer for you. Of course, we will be doing office hours every Friday. This is the first one, so I'm kind of getting used to doing all of this. So this is the very first one. So what we're going to be doing with office hours is I will bring in a topic, and I'll try to use this as an FAQ as well. These are some of the questions that I normally get around iFind You Close. And that was something that we really needed to work on in our back end, is to make sure we have FAQs to try to answer all of these questions that you have. So we're going to be using these office hours to address some of the FAQs that come up. Of course, if you have any new ones, anything you want me to address, put it in the comments. Seriously, put it in the comments. I want to be able to break down any of these different things that you feel that you might be getting stuck on. Of course, I appreciate you being a part of iFind You Close, and I want you to stay around. So I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help you as much as possible. So the next thing I want to let you know is that our next office hour is, oh my gosh, I got to find the thing. Next office hours is next Friday. So office hours will be every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And I have people over in the UK, so that is what? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 p.m. UK time. Oh, way too many time zones I have to keep up. So every Friday, we will be doing office hours around this time. If you have subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will be able to come and access these at any time. And we'll also be putting these in I Find You Clothes as an FAQ to help you out as well. The next one we're going to be talking about is, I can't find the next one. It is what to do if you don't have a speaker reel. And we're seeing that a lot of events are now asking for speaker reels, a lot of people who are looking for keynote speakers. So I want to talk about speaker reels, especially in the age of going virtual. It's going to be really interesting how things are shaping up. So, of course, I appreciate you for watching this. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Maybe. You know how to find me. Go follow us on, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. All of these videos, all these playlists will be here for you. They won't be to the general public, but they will be here just for you. So we want to make sure that you have access to these. You can come back at any time. Of course, any questions, go ahead and just pop them up. And I will see you next Friday for office hours, and we're going to talk about that speaker reel. So make sure you go ahead and hit the notifications button so that you can get notified of when to join us. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you. See you next week.